Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Raidraptors. Now this deck is really fun. It's kind of like on par with Black Wings, where it kind of like swarms out monsters. Pretty interesting deck, makes one of the most powerful XYZ monsters in the entire game, and that is Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon. This card is actually a Waking the Dragon's target, which if you don't know what that does, if it's destroyed by a card effect, you could special summon any monster from the extra deck. So people are choosing to make this. So I figured let's base a deck around it. So we're going to do an updated version of Raidraptors, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad for any time I post a new deck profile. So without further ado, let's get straight on into it. And guys, I will say, don't forget to comment down below and tell me what kind of deck profiles you guys want to see in the future. I really appreciate when you guys do that, so I can kind of know what you guys want to see. And I do actually read all the comments that you guys post. So, I played 3 copies of Raidraptor Tribute Lanius. Raidraptor Tribute Lanius is really good that if it's normal or special summoned, you can send a Raidraptor from your deck to the grave. Your target is going to be Mimicry Lanius, which we'll get into in just a minute. And this card's other effect is that if it destroys a monster by battle, you can, during your main phase 2, add a rank up magic quick play spell card from your deck to your hand, which is really cool because it searches and it sends something to the graveyard that allows you to search. Then we play 1 copy of Sharp Lanius. Now, I know some people don't play this, but it's actually pretty good, and it's a pretty good top deck because it's like an instant rank 4, which is why we play it. Once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls and switch it to defense position, which is nice. And then during your main phase 2, if it attacked, you can special summon a Raidraptor from your graveyard, which is pretty good, and it can be any Raidraptor. It can even be one of your XYZ monsters that was properly XYZ summoned. And if you have a rank up spell in your hand, you can rank it up into something else, which is nice. Or you can just make a Force Strix or a Blade Burner Falcon just off of this 1 card, which is nice. Then we play 3 copies of Raidraptor Vanishing Lanius. Raidraptor Vanishing Lanius is a must of 3 in this deck. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card is normal or special summoned, this turn you can special summon 1 Raidraptor that's level 4 or lower from your deck to from your hand to the field. Excuse me. So it's an instant link to, or it can be, if you can stack this, you can link with it a couple of times, which we don't play too many link monsters. We're mainly focused on XYZ summoning, but it's an instant rank 4, just like right off the bat, which is usually going to be your last tricks, which lets you search as well. Then we play 3 copies of Raidraptor Mimicry Lanius. Basically, this one can can level modulate to increase all your Raidraptors by 1 level, which is not something we're going to do with this card very often. The main effect of this card that we're going to use is off of our Tribute Lanius, which is going to be when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Raidraptor from your deck to your hand, which is kind of good. It's kind of like a Rhoda when it's in the grave, so that's why we play 3 copies of it. Then we're going to play 3 copies of Raidraptor Vanishing or Fuzzy Lanius, which is one of my favorite artworks of them all. I love the purple color of this card. I don't know why, but basically if you control a Raidraptor monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can only special summon 1 Fuzzy Lanius per turn. The other effect of Fuzzy Lanius is that if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add another copy of itself from your deck to your hand. So that's really good, and it replaces itself. It's kind of like, again, like Black Wings, how they like special summon themselves from the hand, which lets you overlay, which is nice. Then we play 1 copy of Singing Lanius. We're kind of getting into a couple of the 1-ofs. Singing Lanius, if you control a face-up XYZ monster, you can special summon it, which is nice. It helps you link, and it helps you also like overlay into extra ones if you already have like the link zones that you need. I played 1 copy of Boostrix. I haven't been playing this in the past, but I started playing 1, and it kind of really helps. When a Raidraptor monster you control is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your hand and then destroy the attacking monster, which is really nice. It's a good 1-of, and that's why I played it 1. But other than that, I mean, like, that's why I play it, because it's a good 1-for-1. Like, you pop one of your opponent's monster that's maybe troubling your Raidraptors, and then, you know, it's not a problem anymore. Then we play 2 copies of Painlanius. This card's really interesting. I know it's a level 1, but it can actually change its level, which is nice. Basically, you target a Raidraptor you control, and then special summon this card, and then whichever one's lower, the attack or the defense, you take that damage. Like, for instance, if you targeted Boostrix, you would take 100 life points of damage, special summon this onto the field, and then it becomes the same level as the Boostrix, which is nice. Because it's like, it instantly lets you overlay, which is really, really cool. Then we play 3 copies of my favorite of them all, and that is 3 copies of Lastrix. Basically, this card lets you tribute it to special summon any of your Raidraptor XYZ monsters from your extra deck, which is really, really, really cool. But they don't have any materials, so we use them that we special summon off of Lastrix to overlay with a rank up spell. Like, for instance, we would usually summon, like, I normally summon Satellite Cannon Falcon off of the Lastrix and then rank up into my Ultimate Falcon because it's the best one. So that's it for the monsters, guys. It also has another effect that if a Raidraptor monster you control battles, you can special summon it when you have, while you have any spell or trap cards on the field or in the graveyard. During damage calculation, you can special summon this card, which is kind of cool, but usually I just kind of like first turn normal summon this, tribute it off, summon Satellite Cannon, activate a rank up, and then rank up out of, rank up into something else. And that's usually my first turn play, because not many people are playing Kaijus anymore, surprisingly. They're usually siding them. So that's what I'm finding playtesting this. I usually get my Ultimate Falcon out, and it stays out. So that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. Really, really, really fun deck. Makes a lot of boss monsters. So then we play 1 copy of Monster Reborn because, reborning a Ultimate Falcon is pretty funny because your opponent doesn't see it coming. And then you can rank it up into Final Fortress Falcon, which is, again, pretty funny. 2 copies of Twin Twister because I just don't like back row at all, ever. Then I play 3 copies of Rank Up Magic Skip Force. This lets us go up by 2 ranks. Like, you activate this card, target a Raidraptor XYZ monster you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 Raidraptor monster that's 2 ranks higher, and then attach all its materials to this card. And then its other effect is pretty impressive too. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your grave, target 1 Raidraptor monster in your graveyard, then target 1 Raidraptor XYZ monster in your graveyard, and special summon that target. Which is really, really cool because you banish this card and 1 Raidraptor monster from your graveyard, and then you can special summon 1 of your Raidraptor XYZ monsters from your grave, which is kind of cool. If it like dies or you have a Forstrix in your graveyard that again you properly summon, you can send it or banish this into a Raidraptor, which you're going to have materials that you detached anyways to summon it, and then it lets you bring it back, which is cool. So it's like Monster Reborn in a way. 1 Rank Up Magic Soul Shave Force. I used to play like 3 of these, but I found that 1 actually plays a lot better. You pay half your life points and target 1 of your Raidraptors in your grave, special summon it, then special summon 1 Raidraptor monster from your extra deck that's 2 rank higher on top of it, which is kind of cool. Then I play 1 copy of Doom Double Force. Doom Double, basically if your Raidraptor is destroyed by battle, or sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it to go up twice its rank, like overlay on top of it twice its rank. So if like your Forstrix gets destroyed, you go up to Satellite Cannon Falcon on top of it, which is kind of cool. And then you treat it as XYZ materials as well. Then I play 1 copy of an interesting card. I don't see anybody else playing this, but it's really, really good, and that's the Phantom Knights of Rank Up Magic Launch. During your main phase, you can target 1 dark XYZ monster you control with no XYZ materials and special summon from your extra deck 1 dark XYZ monster that has 1 rank higher than that monster you control by using it as XYZ materials. Now, the reason I play this is because of Dark Rebellion and Dark Requiem Dragon. And plus, I thought it'd be kind of cool to play like Yuto's boss monster in Shay's deck. You know, I thought that was kind of cool to mix Raidraptors and Dark Rebellion because they were like best friends in the series. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it works really well in this deck. And then for the final rank up magic, I play one Astral Force. Astral Force just basically, if it's in your graveyard, you can skip your draw phase to add it back to your hand. And it lets you go up 2 ranks, which is kind of cool. So that's why I play that. Then I play for the other cards. I play one Raidraptor Nest. Raidraptor Nest is really, really good because it lets you, if you control 2 or more Raidraptor monsters, you can add one Raidraptor monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Really good. On second thought, guys, actually, I mixed them up where this was behind the Raidraptor Nest, and I was like, wait a minute, where is it? So I'm playing 2 copies of the Rank Up Magic Astral Force. Pardon me. So we're playing Raidraptor Nest, and then we're playing 1 Cattle Call. Cattle Call basically lets us send a face-up monster you control to the grave, whose original type is Beast, Beast Warrior, Wing Beast. In our case, it's Wing Beasts. And then you get to special summon a XYZ monster from your deck, basically. Special summon 1 monster from your extra deck with the same original type, which is going to be our Wing Beast monsters, and it'll be our extra deck monsters like our Final Fortress Falcon or Ultimate Falcon. And basically you use them again to rank up. So that's pretty much it. And then since everything's dark, we're playing 3 copies of Allure. And that's it for the spells, guys. But don't forget, we are playing 2 copies of this instead of 1. I apologize about the mix-up. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. So we don't play very many traps in this deck at all, which is kind of like becoming a norm in most decks, I'm noticing, which is kind of interesting. I mean, it's been a thing for a while, but I just noticed it. So we're playing 2 copies of Raidraptor Readiness. I used to think this card really sucked, but it doesn't. If this turn Raidraptor monster you control cannot be destroyed by battle. And if a Raidraptor monster you control, or if you have a Raidraptor monster in your graveyard, you can banish this card from your grave, and you take no battle damage. Period. Really, really good. Then I play 2 Icarus Attack because everything's Wing Beast. So that's it for the deck. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Readiness is actually decent. I like it a lot in this deck, but that's it for the deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So we're going to breeze through this extra deck with explaining it, of course. So we're going to play 1 copy of Final Fortress Falcon. This is the biggest Raidraptor of them all. If this card is XYZ summoned, it is unaffected by other card effects, which is the important thing. And then you can detach 1 card from this card, return all of your banished Raidraptor monsters to your grave, and then up to twice per turn, when this card is attacking, destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 Raidraptor XYZ from your grave, and this card can attack again in a row. That's good and bad. I mean, like, Ultimate Falcon's still better. Then we play the biggest, baddest mofo of the deck, and that is 2 copies of Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon. You don't need more than 2. This card is unaffected by all other card effects, and you can detach material from this card, and for the rest of the turn, all monsters your opponent control lose 1,000 attack, which is really good. And also, your opponent's cards and effects cannot be activated, period. That is crazy. And if this card has a Raidraptor as a material, it gains the following effect. Once per turn, during the end phase, make all your opponent's monsters lose 1,000 attack. And if they don't control any monsters, which they're not going to after this card hits the field, they lose 1,000 life points instead. That is crazy. 2 copies of Satellite Cannon Falcon. It requires you just rank up into this normally. Don't worry about the ranks, guys. You're gonna rank up into these. If this card is XYZ summoned by using a Raidraptor monster as material, you can destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls, and your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this activation, which is kind of cool because it prevents it from being prevents it from being like Solemn Strike. If they don't hit the summon, they're not going to get this. They can't Judgment it or anything. And during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls, and it loses 800 attack for each Raidraptor monster in your grave. So it's going to lose a lot of attack with this. 1 Revolution Falcon. Revolution Falcon's really interesting because if it battles like a special summon monster, it instantly destroys it. And then once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it. And if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack of that monster it had on the field, if this card has a Raidraptor XYZ material on it. And this monster's attack defense becomes 0, or not this one, but monsters this card battles becomes 0 if it's a special summon monster, which is kind of cool. So then we play one Cyber Dragon Infinity because you can rank up into it with Astral Force, which is kind of cool. That's pretty much it. It's good negation. Then we play one Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon, which is really cool because you make it with Phantom Knight launch. If this card has Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon on it as material, once per turn you can detach a material from this card, then target one monster your opponent controls, and his attack becomes 0, and this card gains attack equal to the monster's original attack. This is an OTK maker. It's crazy good. And during either player's turn, when your opponent monster activates an effect, you can detach a material from this card, negate the activation if you do destroy it. Then you can special summon one XYZ monster from your grave, which is going to be your Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Dark Rebellion, you detach 2 materials, target a monster your opponent controls, and this card gains half of its attack. Usually you're going to do that, then attack, activate Phantom Knight launch, and then overlay on top of this Dark Requiem in the battle phase, which is usually what I do. Blade Burner Falcon, if your life points are less than your opponent, then it becomes 4,000 attack. Force Strix, you detach a material from this, and you get to search a Raidraptor monster from your deck. Borreload, we all know what Borreload does by now. Summon Sorceress. If you don't have Summon Sorceress, and it's in the EU, you guys are watching this in the EU, play Trisbania instead, or play Deco Talker instead. And then one Firefighting Durham-Doll. I highly recommend that when Witch's Apprentice, the Link monster for Darks, come out, play that instead of this. Totally play that instead of this. This card is kind of just here because it has 2 downward pointing arrows. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed taking this one. It's a really, really fun deck. I really enjoy playing this. Raidraptors are like crazy, crazy good. You'd think they'd be really hindered by not being able to make a bunch of XYZs on the field, but they're really not, because all you need is the one Ultimate Falcon and it's over anyways. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed taking it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell right down there so you can become part of our notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.